But as for O's fans, most of them are here in downtown Baltimore, as you can see at one of the establishments behind me. After hearing of the suspension, Coach Green took the issue up in state Supreme Court here in downtown Syracuse this afternoon, where the judge ruled that the sectional game tomorrow will be played. The new act requires a player to be symptom-free for 24 hours before returning to play. This after being cleared by their trainer and physician, whether they're returning to the football field or here, where we see that concussions don't just affect football players. Covering everything from green energy to food systems, this new proposal hopes to keep Syracuse sustainable. The 377 students from this small elementary school will be dispersed into schools throughout the district. However, for the average internet user, the change would most notably be seen on much larger websites, such as YouTube. Here, any video or song containing any copywritten material can be removed at the punishment of the user and of the website. And new medical research has actually shown that young girls are actually the most susceptible to head injury. The American Cancer Society has already registered over 900 people for its study, and with more walk-ins coming, they should reach their goal of over 1,000 Central New York participants. One local group is trying to bring arts back to education and is doing it one student at a time. Imagine Syracuse has been serving the community since 2008, but just this year began its Young Musicians Project. The comprehensive after-school program at one school offers a variety of musical instruction in some ways you might not expect. For the crowd at Immaculate Conception's elementary school, it was a concert that was one of a kind. But for the performers from Cathedral Academy at Pompeii, it's an everyday routine.
We are so excited to bring with us today our African drum and dance troupe.
When Jessie Keating began Imagine Syracuse in 2008, she hoped to bring the arts back to education.
Many studies have shown that music really has an incredible impact on brain development, IQ, math and reading scores, executive functioning, that kind of thing. And we also felt that it was the one thing that just kept getting cut in schools. And really, we believe that budget cuts should not dictate culture.
So Imagine Syracuse started the Young Musicians Project. After introducing the program at Cathedral Academy at Pompeii 3 months ago, the students say the effects are already being seen.
Imagine Syracuse is every day, and a lot more kids are in it, so it's a little bit more fun.
The free after-school program provides an intensive rotation of small group lessons in instruments not often seen at the grade school level. In addition to small choir and African drum and dance, students can choose from cello, viola, oboe, and many other instrumental lessons.
We really give them an incredibly rich buffet of music education to choose from, and they love it. They love it. They cannot wait to get to us every single day after school.
Students meet 4 to 5 days a week, gaining constant exposure both to the music and their teachers.
And for some of those kids, that's one of the closest relationships they'll have.
Choral instructor Laura Enslin helped found the Young Musicians Project with Jessie Keating in 2010, using theories learned from a service trip to Caracas, Venezuela. There, out of one of the world's poorest communities, grew a children's orchestra of over 300 kids.
Our goal is not to create the next, prodigy or the next famous violin player. Our goal is to create someone who has self-confidence, who's willing to take risks, who's willing to help, who's learning how to live, how to be a person.
The group brings together students speaking 27 different languages and is part of a nationwide movement called El Sistema. While all the groups are inspired by the same principles, the Young Musicians Project is the only of its kind in upstate New York. The backdrop is an impoverished community and a school whose student body is roughly 80% refugee, many of whom escaped persecution and violence in their native countries and experienced post-traumatic stress. The school's neighborhood is one of the poorest in the region, and many refugee families struggle with issues beyond money and integration.
We have children who obviously are suffering from PTSD. I had a very loud instrument go off in my classroom, and a kid just fell to the floor and started rocking.
African drum and dance instructor Yesutor Kutoka Wiley came from Ghana, West Africa, 15 years ago and understands the struggles of the 68 refugee students from 17 countries in the program.
There's a lot of kids in Syracuse who don't have this opportunity, and some of them, their parents don't have the money to put them in the after-school program. a lot of them really don't know anything about any instruments. So they ask a lot of questions about it and like, whoa, you know, I'm so glad I'm doing this. I'm so glad I've seen this.
The teachers say the music is the medium, but they strive for a more important end.
Well, every day they're practicing being a person and treating the people around them with respect. They're learning how to be safe. They're learning how to be caring and loving to the people around them. It's practice.
As the program expands and continues to grow, so too do its students. In Syracuse, I'm Joey Glauber, NCC News. Some fans driving home from tonight's Syracuse football game at the Carrier Dome will have a reminder to keep their phones in their pockets. Almost 15,000 thumb bands handed out at the game preach safety by encouraging drivers to pause.
It's an issue that can change your life instantly, or a decision. You know, you make the decision to send one little text and instantly you can end your life or someone else's.
Hill Communications, a student-run public relations firm, launched their campaign, Pause, Drive Now, Text Later, to discourage texting while driving among college students and community members. And for some participants, prevention means even more.
I had a friend from where I grew up passed away last year from texting and driving. So it's something that I'm really passionate about, and it's something that is so avoidable.
Distracted driving accounted for roughly 20% of accidents involving injury in 2009, leading it to becoming a ticketable offense in New York State this year. However, before July, New York State drivers averaged roughly 400 texting while driving tickets per month. In August, that number jumped to 1,000. Tonight, students will be asked to use the very smartphones that distract them to get online and sign a pledge to stop texting while driving. SU basketball coach Jim Boeheim will also address tonight's crowd with a short video expressing the dangers of distracted driving, all in hopes of reaching distracted drivers before it's too late.
I know for a fact that anybody who is friends with Chris will not pick up the phone anymore while they're driving. I mean, I certainly don't.
In Syracuse, I'm Joey Glauber, NCC News.